Let's get all sorted. I'm James.
And I'm Jeff. Today we're talking earth orange, tiny medium blue, and transparent medium reddish violet.
As always, if you want to check out links to everything we're talking about today, head over to breakingdads.com.
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 You can also leave us comments there, or you can find us on Twitter. I'm at Still Sorting.
And please rate us on iTunes, help other people discover the podcast. And what are we talking about today?
We're talking colors, man.
Yeah.
Lego colors.
There's rainbows everywhere.
It's like a panoply of rainbows. I don't know if that's...
Panoply of rainbows. That's a lot of rainbows.
That's a lot of rainbows.
I don't know how many...
You could build a lot of different rainbows out of Lego.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. You came over here with the Lego color timeline and showed me a bunch of web pages, and I nodded and went, my head hurts. There's so many different ways of coming at this, and there's so many different names, and I now know the Pantone colors codes for colors I didn't need to know. It just dislodged other important information. Like,
no longer know your children's names,
no.
But you do know that earth orange is a thing that exists in the world.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, Lego makes bricks in many colors. Unfortunately, Lego does not tell us what name they give these colors. So that leaves different groups to come up with their own name for each color. Also, because some colors are more subtle in their differences than other colors, some groups just lumped them all together, while others list them as two or more separate colors.
It depends who the graphic designers in the crowd were.
Right.
The people that were like, are you kidding me? These are clearly two different colors.
Or people that originally sorted their Lego by color and are like, no, I'm not taking these two parts, putting them in somewhere separate. They're going in. They are close enough to tiny, medium blue.
You are the same color.
That's right.
Stop looking at me like that, Lego.
Yeah. You know, and also I think because Legos often are sorted by guys, and I know I have to call my wife over sometimes and go, are these the same color?
Are you being color insensitive, Jeff?
I can't, like, where like blue, green, like that spectrum between blue and green. There's a whole
orange and red.
Orange and red I can get.
Okay.
I can get the different shades of orange and red.
Yeah.
But blue, green, like, to me, like, there's blue, there's green, and there's turquoise. Like, that's
it.
Those are the three colors. And I can get that's a dark turquoise or a light turquoise, but, like, honestly, I couldn't tell you if it's more blue or more green. And it drives my wife nuts.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, it's a blue car. And she's like, that's a green car. And then I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm right. And she's like, no.
I'm pretty sure you only know that there's 6 colors.
There's, I mean, a lot. That's the funny thing is when people think about classic Lego, they often, it was better when there was only 4 colors.
You're thinking, Roy G. Biv or...
Yeah, but if you go back to the 50s, when they were automatic binding blocks and they had the little slots on the sides, there was a lot of different colors. And a lot of that stemmed from not being so thorough when they made the colors.
Quality control was a little looser.
Well, it just, we're making this set and it should be a kind of yellow. Did it matter if it was a little brighter or a little darker? No, it was yellowish.
The dude that was melting plastic said, how much of this should I add in?
Yeah, or what supplier did they get the plastic from this time?
Yeah.
And so that's it. So there was a lot of color, and then there was not so much color, and then there was a whole ton of colors. And then in 2010-ish, Lego said, no, let's get about half as many colors. And then they slowly added to it over time. But it's much more controlled. They tend to take out colors and add colors.
I guess it must tie up their production lines when they have too many colors going at once as well, when they've got to produce. Yeah. Like, I mean, they're producing a gajillion parts, but it's still, if you now add double the colors, you can't.
And every time you switch colors in a mold, you have some runoff. You have some weird bricks that are multicolored.
Right.
So that's lost production as well.
I wonder where the rainbow bricks go. That's a whole thing.
Oh, I think employees collect them at the factory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But have you seen them online?
In the Lego Brickomentary, there was a shot of an employee who's like, these are these one-of-a-kind bricks that were multi-toned and awesome looking. So there's no waste.
No. They're worn as necklaces.
Yeah. So the good news is there's lots of places to get information about what color Lego there is out there. The downside is there's lots of places to go to get information about what color Lego there is out there. So there is a few main sources of color information out there. I'll just run through them here. You can go to Bricklink, and they have a nice way to sort all the colors that they have in their catalog. They list 130 different colors. So according to Bricklink, there's been 130 different colors used by LEGO over the years. They list 67 of those colors as active as of 2015. And they also give you the number of parts and sets that the color appears in the database.
That's
which is
nice.
there's a lot of fun information in there. It's nice, clean listening to. I like that. Brick Owl, they actually list 193 colors. However, some of those are multiple entries for the same color.
Yeah.
Just because their database just needs to be cleaned up a little bit, I'd
Yeah.
say. But if you take out all the duplicates, you're left with 145 colors. So 15 more than Bricklink lists.
And I wonder if it's really 15 more color, or again, just weird different names for the same thing.
I sorted it out so that it was 145 different Lego ID colors.
Okay.
Because they're nice enough to give you the Lego name and color ID, the Eldra ID, so you can build things in Eldra that way, the Bricklink and Piron names to help you find the right color. So if you're on Bricklink or Piron, they're going to name the same colors differently. So it's nice to cross-reference them with
Okay.
the actual official Lego names for the ones they have.
Yeah.
And then Piron has a nice one. They list 141 colors. And in my mind, that's sort of, I think, the most complete of them. I look at the Piron list, I go, okay, that makes sense to me, these colors.
They give a lot of data.
Oh, a lot of data, which is really nice. They give you the Bricklink name and ID number again, the Eldra ID, the Lego name and ID. They also give you the RBG and CYMK values. So if you're printing stuff or doing stuff online, you can color match nicely. And they also give you the Pantone number, which is I haven't seen anywhere
It's
else.
helpful for all your illegal Lego marketing.
Yes.
Yeah. So what's the one that you would most likely go to?
Piron, I think, has just the most cross-referenced
Yeah.
information. So I like theirs. It's probably the least clean looking
Okay.
of all of them,
But
but the most informative.
yeah.
So that tends to be where I go to look things up and just to make sure if I'm looking on Bricklink, is this the color I'm thinking of?
Now, how about Lego themselves? What do they give us?
Not very much, unfortunately. Now, they have been better at sharing information with the AFOL community. So on most of the modern colors, you'll find that the name and ID matches across the different databases, which is nice because it's jarring to have to translate the same color from place to place to place. In 2010 and 2011, they actually released their official Design Lab color palettes in an effort to assist LEGO user groups in their bulk buy programs. Because, it's much easier for groups to get the parts they want in the color they want if both sides are speaking the same language.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that was really nice to see. We'll have links to those images on our website as well. And you'll go, wow, in a given year, the actual color selection is pretty small compared to how many colors there are out there. And it would be, I really wish I could get my hands on the 2012, 2013 ones when Lego Friends sort of exploded to see if, what I really want to know is, are those color palettes available for everyone, or do they say Lego Friends, this is your palette, and if you're doing Creator, this is your palette, and if you're doing Superheroes, this is your palette? If they split them up that way or not.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it depends what production lines also they have tied up with what product and
Yeah.
how they want to divvy up their supply chain. Yeah. It's interesting. It's a lot of weird logistical problems.
Yeah, that giant multinational corporations have to think of.
Yeah.
And we just sit here going, ooh, I like that new color.
Pretty.
Yeah, so unfortunately, there's no official database of Lego colors out there. And I don't even know if Lego themselves have kept the resources over the years to even be able to build one if they wanted to.
Yeah.
I don't know if they could do better than the community sites that are out there.
The resources they would have to put on this would, they'd probably just shake their heads. No, we'll move
happening.
forward.
Another great resource is a man named Ryan Howiter, and he is an AFOL, or as I like to call him, the Rainbow Warrior. I don't know. I've never talked to him. I don't know if he would appreciate being called the Rainbow Warrior.
He doesn't like the Greenpeace affiliation.
I don't know. But he's put together some amazing color resources. He's done. He has a Flickr page that has photos of pretty well every color and parts that are in that color.
It's a great looking
It's just
site.
pretty.
He's done a really nice
Yeah.
job. And it's so hard to capture color in photos online. It's not real, but he's done a
really good job
could.
keeping the lighting set up.
It's pretty consistent.
Yes, and they look good.
I think that's it. At the minimum, they are not dark and shadowy, and they're consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah. It gives it, no, they seem like they give you a strong idea.
Yes. Yeah, I'd say better than any, than looking at the, that's the thing, when you look on Bricklink and you look on Puron, especially Bricklink, they're just trying to sell the stuff.
Yeah.
So a lot of the pieces are shot in, I've got a billion pieces to take a picture of.
Room lighting.
Yeah, so.
Whereas his are like, he must have a little special drawer of paintbrushes that he uses to get rid of dust, because they're really
tight shots. Yeah.
So he's done an amazing job.
And the other thing he's produced is a beautiful Lego color timeline, which I'm obsessing over. Like, I think I might get it professionally printed and hung on my wall. I don't know. It makes me happy to look at.
No,
yes.
it's awesome.
And it shows you when colors went into use and when they stopped being used and they switched over to other colors.
Being able to visually look at data like that is so nice.
Yeah. Yeah, especially when it is visual data, as we talk about it on a podcast.
That's what we do. So
there's a link to that on our website. And it's definitely worth checking out. It's a beautiful thing. So it's interesting the way the different databases put the information in. You can get some interesting information out of it, I guess is, but not. It's just weird how they put the info in. We'll start with Bricklink because what they do is they can tell you how many different pieces in their inventory across all of their inventory are in that color, and how many different sets that color appears in, which is
remarkable.
It's an interesting
Makes sense
idea.
that data would be there, but it's nice that you can shuffle that data.
Yeah, parse it around a little bit. So if I was to ask you what the 4 most common colors are in Lego,
I would guess,
based on the number of parts made in that color,
I would go yellow, gray, blue, and white.
Those are very good guesses.
Huh.
I mean, they're not great, but they're very good guesses.
They are guesses. That's what those were.
Yeah, I love putting you on the spot like that. That's always fun for me.
I was guessing just old school and kind of primary.
Yeah, which I think a lot of people think of Lego, and you're not wrong to think that way. So we'll start with the 4th most common color, yellow. There's actually been 4,502 different parts made out of yellow that are in the Bricklink database. And the color yellow has appeared in 6,856 sets.
Wow.
Over the years. Red is number 2. I guess the number 2 most. It would actually be whatever. The next one on our list is red. It'd be the 3rd most. There we go. And there have been 4,758 different pieces made in red, and they have appeared in 7,004 sets.
Wow.
And then black, which I think you missed out on.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that.
There's been 6,355 different pieces made in black. 7,900 different sets with black in it. Now, I think the reason black has such a huge lead on sets is it a vehicle that runs on tires?
Right.
In which case, there's going to be at least 4 black parts in it. Well, 2 if it's a motorcycle.
Yeah, it is one of those colors that just you didn't even.
No, you don't.
Gray
you don't
came to
think
my
of
mind
it
before
exactly.
black.
Yeah, because you think of all the different castles and buildings and things out there. But no, black. It's remember, Lego is the #1 tire manufacturer in the world.
Yeah, that would do it.
Yeah, and then the #1 most used color is white. which has
Yeah,
actually
I
had
believe that.
8,052 different pieces made out of it, according to
Wow,
Bricklink.
that's almost double yellow. Not quite.
Yeah, it's almost double yellow. It's almost a couple thousand more than black. And I don't think of white in that way. It's actually only appeared in 6,597 different sets,
Wow.
which is, actually the lowest among these pieces, these colors. But you get a lot of white when you get
lot of
white.
variation.
Yeah, and it's come in a lot of different parts.
Huh.
So that's
Pretty cool.
I was surprised by that. I thought white would be there. I didn't think it would be number one.
I love whenever you shuffle information around and you do a sort. You're always surprised by something.
Yeah.
You're just like you can't even. You think you're gonna know? Nah. There's always an outlier.
Okay, and then so those are the ones that have had the most made. So Lego, good job. You've used those colors very well.
Yeah.
And a lot. The opposite end of the spectrum. I'm not going to ask you to guess the four least parts
Really?
color wise,
Yeah, they probably have 4 or 5 names in the color.
Dude, I'm going to use the Bricklink names because I got this information from Bricklink. So the 4 colors with the least parts made are speckle black gold.
Oh, it's tip of my tongue.
Yeah, you're just going to think speckle black gold,
Yeah.
aren't you? This is actually a relatively new color. It was used in sets in 2010 and 2011. A total of 2 parts
Wow.
were in that color. They appeared in 4 sets.
It's got a bit of use.
Yes. Next is actually a new color, glitter trans neon green.
What the
So it's like
word is that?
So it's translucent, so you can see through it.
Yeah.
It's a neon green,
Uh-huh.
and it would have a glittery speckle to it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I got that.
And they've made only 1 part out of it.
Huh.
However, it's appeared in 3 sets.
Right.
And it's from 2015. I imagine 2016 we'll see it get some use as
Yeah.
well. Because that's kind of how Lego rolls nowadays. Next, the very nicely named Very Light Orange.
suppose it's just light orange. Very light.
Because there's also a light orange.
Is there also an exceedingly very
I think if they
totally
came with-
completely light orange? That is the okay.
Ending with holy cow, that is light orange.
Exclamation question mark. So what year was that?
2000.
Okay.
This color came out. It appeared in only 1 part. 2 sets.
Very special.
Very
light
special,
orange.
yes. And then we have Chrome Green
Chrome green.
from 1999.
Huh.
So a chromified green, only in 1 part and 2 sets. But the least ever used color is Chrome Black,
Huh.
which only ever appeared in the Darth Vader 10-year anniversary promotional fig polybag.
Wow.
So the whole fig was Chrome Black. So I guess technically, on a part standpoint, you've got 2 arms and a torso and a helmet and legs that were Chrome
Right.
Black.
But it's at least sets.
Yeah,
1 set.
and it's a promotional polybag too, so it
good
wasn't
luck.
even if you have one of those, you're lucky because
Yeah.
even used ones will sell for close to $100.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Huh.
So that's pretty nice,
Yeah.
and that's why they make the promotional
If you're
polybags.
riding the Lego market.
Yes. You make sure you keep that in a
Vault.
Yes, in a climate-controlled vault.
Yeah, with your rare.
If you're worried about the safety of your 10th anniversary Darth Vader Black Chrome promotional minifigure,
You got a security service you're
send
offering?
them. Yep, send them all sorted. We'll take care of them for you. In fact, we're so trustworthy we don't even do paperwork.
No.
That's how.
A wink and
That's
a
how
handshake.
honest we are.
Throw it in your humidor.
Yeah, so that was. It's fun to look at Bricklink that way.
Yeah.
because you can really dial down to the specific number of
You were right.
elements.
I would not have guessed those.
No,
I definitely would not have.
was Chrome Black not on your list? That's the thing.
Is it a very speckly, chromatic? No.
Extra Chrome.
Chrome.
Yeah. So Bricklink was fun. Piron's database it lists the information in a different way. I think it's quite interesting as well. It'll give you a part total. So basically, if you were lucky enough to buy one of every set that's in the Piron inventory database, the part total is how many total pieces you would have in that color.
Okay.
So it's not. Whereas Bricklink, you can look at a color and go like, oh, they've made 4,502 different pieces, different molds in that color. What this one does is it'll add up the total number of pieces in that color throughout all of the sets.
So if a set had 4 of a certain part,
Yeah,
in
like
a
a
color,
4
it would
1x2
add
brick.
all of those up.
Exactly, that would
Okay.
count as 4.
Gotcha.
So what do you think the 4 most common colors are for this one?
I would go with the earlier common colors.
What did you say again?
Whatever. No, I'd guess whatever the ones that you gave us. White, red,
Yep.
black, and yellow.
Yep. Those are the ones I gave you. They're not correct, but those are the ones I gave you. So we'll start with the least common of the most common.
Okay.
So of the top 4. So what they call
Number
old,
4.
what Piron calls old gray. So this is the
Old gray.
the gray previous to the blay.
Huh.
And they, in all the sets on Piron, 86,678. I've had a typo in there. Yes, 86,678 old gray parts total.
Huh.
Of those, 12,045 of them are Technic parts.
Wow.
So a lot of Technic back in the day was in the old gray. And 36,149 of them are just basic bricks. So you're 1x1 up to your 2x10 brick.
I think this is why gray was in my head earlier.
It might be. Because gray was out there.
Yeah.
And I think if gray had stayed the same color throughout, you would have seen
That's
it.
a good point. Now
Yeah.
There's so many shades.
Yeah, especially because they changed gray right around the explosion in number of sets they release. Plus all the Star Wars sets in the new gray would, I think, greatly affect the amount. So old gray gets in there. Next is red, which has 119,562. 119,562 red parts. So again, if you were lucky enough to own one of each of those sets, you would be drowning in red.
Yeah.
Also, you'd have a lot of red parts.
You could build stuff.
Yes. See what I did there?
I said.
Because red means you've
Yes.
like you don't have money. You're in the red as opposed to the. All right. Anyway, over half of those would be basic bricks and plates. Again, I mean, not surprising. The most common pieces in one of the most common colors.
That makes sense.
You would have a ton of them. Getting in up there again. Next up is white, which comes in at 133,071 different white pieces. 40,310 would be basic bricks, and 20,029 would be basic plates. So these are unmodified bricks and plates. Again, not exactly shocking the world that most of those are there. And then the most common color is black. And this one, I mean, again, it's amazing that it's the most common color. It's amazing how common it is. You would have 237,479 black parts.
Wow.
That is,
Astounding.
yeah, because there's not a lot of, like, when you think of Lego,
I just don't think
there's
of
not
that.
a lot of super dark black builds.
No.
The old black castles were black.
The ship.
The ship, yeah. Some of the space
There's
stuff
not much that
was
comes to
black,
mind, though.
but no, you don't think of black as primary
But
color.
it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. Of that 237,479, 18,751 of them are just the basic Technic pin.
Huh. Yeah.
The double-sided friction
totally
pin. Yeah, it
makes
makes
sense.
sense because
Yeah.
if you've bought
That's
10
in
Lego
so many
sets,
things.
you've got 30 extra
Yeah.
Technic pins to begin with.
No, that totally makes
So-
sense. Yeah, between that and the tires.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Tires make up 12,043
Huh.
of those, which again are a small percentage of the total.
Yeah.
But it's amazing that that one part accounts for almost 10%
Man.
of the total.
So how do you deal with all of this? Do you sort by color?
No,
Kind of. No, you're sorting by size?
I'm sorting by part
Part. Okay.
or part type. Yeah. And I'm so close now.
Yeah.
So close
You're
now.
almost sorted.
I'm getting to the minifigures and sorting out their parts,
Huh.
which was down on my list. So the pile of bins to sort is getting smaller, and the pile of sorted parts is getting bigger.
So how has colors affected you in your process?
Yeah, when like for example, cheese slopes, I have 3 bins of them now because I have translucent cheese slopes, I have color cheese slopes, and then I have shades. So the white, gray, black are in a different bin
Right.
for space. So so color comes into my sorting,
Huh.
but function is the main sort.
I can't imagine if you were to try to tackle this by color.
If you just stuck to like the primary colors and it's like everything that's bluey or purple is going to be in one place. But I when I first sorted, I went by color.
Yeah.
And it just,
So
it's
C.
just,
You not see the part you're looking for.
yeah, that's the problem, right? Whereas your eye is really good at picking out differences in color, less good at picking out differences in shape when you're looking at a lot of parts.
Huh.
So it was annoying because I had everything sorted by color at one point, and then I've switched that up. But it's much easier to find stuff now, and I'm somewhat happier. Other than the fact that a couple of years in, I'm still sorting.
I think when you look at the number of ways you can slice up the information, it just it goes to show you what a management problem it is on both sides. Like Lego's side must be a nightmare, but then on the sorting side, it's you're just gonna find what works for you, but you're never gonna have
The difference
the perfect.
with Lego is though they don't have to worry about old stock.
Right.
Right.
That's
Like
true.
they're not sorting everything that's ever been made.
Right.
Their sorting is how do we most efficiently pack our product that we're making today.
From a design point of view, I wonder how that works with the palette choices you have available to you. If they're like, okay, here's what's going to be next year, or here's what's relatively available for us to make stuff in, how that impacts design decisions.
And I wonder too, because in the past it was about a 2-year window from concept to hitting the shelves. And I think they're closer to about 6 months nowadays.
I would imagine with basically just-in-time manufacturing, where they're like able to press the button quickly on a line, and they've got lines everywhere. So if something is plugged up in Poland, they'll move to Mexico or whatever it is they're doing now. So I don't know.
Yeah, neither do I. It's I think that's why anyone who's been lucky enough to see footage from inside a Lego factory is always amazed, but also kind of depressed in that, like, why can't my life be like this? It's I don't know how they do it. I think when you look at the palettes from 2010, 2011, it's much more limited than your adult builders have. But then again, adult builders are limited by the fact that if that, they want to use a cheese slope in that color and it doesn't exist, they can't go to their boss and say, hey, you should make this, which Lego designers can.
Right.
Now, I don't know how often they're told, do it without, find another way.
Yeah, there must be some formulas almost for how much flexibility they have. Like, oh, well, you've exceeded your capacity for new things.
Yeah, and I'm sure designers with a proven track record have a better chance of getting a new mold.
Well, I guess once they understand the design or the manufacturing process really cleanly, then they'll know what's going to work, what's going to get approved.
Yeah.
We need to kidnap a Lego designer. I think is what needs to happen.
We need to kidnap all the Lego designers.
And then
The worst part is now they're going to get kidnapped and they're totally going to blame us, which is why we're innocent. Who would be stupid enough?
That's ridiculous.
The perfect crime.
Well, thank you for bringing this to us. That was a lot of sorting around. Although I'm sure that really wasn't work. Your wife was like, "What are you doing?" It's like, "Oh, I'm totally preparing for the podcast. This is just exhausting. I'm fatigued."
I certainly did not place any Bricklink orders for parts and colors that I didn't have before.
No, there's no way that played into
that.
This.
Doesn't sound like me.
Well, yeah, until next week when those arrive and you get building something.
Yes.
All right. Well, I've been James.
And I'm still Jeff.